Where to begin? I think for me, the way I think about flavours is like spices in a kitchen. So do you find that when you're cooking, you have your favourites, your defaults, like your go-tos? I know how to cook this, I know how to cook this, I know I like this, yes? And there may be some, I know in my kitchen there's spices that I don't use very often. Have you all had that experience? It's like, I'd use that not even once a year. Why is that even in my kitchen? It's for that special dish. And so it's a bit like that when we think about our expressions and like the feminine expressions of Shakti. You know, my interpretation of what that means is that Shakti is all of life force expressed through us, through the body, when we're embodying her. And so it can be volcanic eruptions, and it can be chaos and wind and rain and snow, and it can be a leaf falling off that tree, and it can be the tenderness of, grief in the body, and the heaviness of a womb, a bleeding womb, and the sweetness of arousal when we're ovulating. Like all of these energies are different moments in time that we can experience and express. But what tends to happen for most of us, because we're human, and because our brains tend to work on pattern recognition and habit, is we can get into the same groove. Like we're on the same train tracks and we're doing the same old things. Like I know how to do this, and this happens a lot in sex, and maybe you've all had this experience and maybe not loved this experience when you're with someone and they're touching you in the same way, in the same sequence, yes? It gets a bit boring after a while, doesn't it? And for me, learning how to, embody different energies was such a gift, because I realised that I was in the rut as much as my partner. And my perspective on, being in more the feminine, which most of you acknowledge that's what you're here for in a big sense, is that we need to take responsibility for bringing the energy. We need to take responsibility for bringing that range from the volcanic eruptions of anger and hurt and rage of Kali to the sweetness of Gaia and the beauty of the seasons, to the tenderness of a mother's love, to the ecstasy of orgasm. All of these things, and millions, billions more. And if I notice that I'm getting in a rut with myself or with my practice or with a partner, then it's an invitation for me to go, oh, okay, well, where do I need to stretch myself? Where do I need to find a spice in the kitchen that I'm not using, and essentially make myself a bit uncomfortable by stretching into this area. What else do I want to say about that? If you've done any of this kind of archetypal work before, I really want to invite you to try and treat everything like a fresh moment as well. And so what I mean by that is, some of these energies that we're going to dance with today, as soon as I hear the music, I know how to go into it because I practice with them often. But the trap is going into moving again habitually. It's like, I know how to do this energy. Does this make sense? It's like, I know how to do this, because then I'm still in the train track, versus how does this energy want to express through me in this moment? And that's what I want you to play with. It's trying to really not be in the head. Being embodied is really, it's like almost chopping the head off. It's the way I used to visualize it. It's like I'm cutting my head off and I'm just like, where is all of the rest of me wanting to be? And so in this moment, if we're playing with the shaman, she's quite depicted over there in that corner in front of Amber Jane. It's like, if I'm really playing with her, how does she want to come through me in this moment? Versus, I know how to do this. I know this energy in my body. Where is she in this moment? How can I really access her in the way that's authentic now? And it's not always going to look the same way. And I guess that's my point, is It's not how it looks. It's never how it looks when we're doing these sorts of embodiment practices. It's always about how it feels. And when you do practices together, you'll get the reinforcement of what someone else can pick up, irrespective of how we think we should be moving to depict an energy, letting it translate through the body. Again, that concept of resonance. It's like it's a frequency, you know, it comes through us. So yeah, I really invite you to try to be aware of places that, yeah, I know this energy, this is easy for me. Okay, up-level it and do her in a new way today. So take a breath, get curious about that. The other thing we're going to play with a little bit today is range, in terms of, let me say that differently. How fast can we shift our range? So it's all well and good. I did a Dark Goddess immersion earlier in this year, and we were in the Dark Goddess energy all day. And so we're in different archetypes. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, the Dark Goddess is a term that some people use, which for me resonates. And there's goddesses you might know of, like Kali and Lilith, who are quite depicted as dark goddesses. But for me, the Dark Goddess energy it's just more primal. It's more in the lower body. So it's really earthy. It's like the medicine woman as well. You know, she's very connected to the earth. She's not dancing around like a ballerina, you know, in this high light energy. It's denser. And so that's what I mean when I say dark, versus the lighter goddesses, which are more sweet and can you feel the difference of that in your bodies as well? So we're going to do some lighter goddess energies this morning. And then we're going to move into the more of the darker energies after lunch, and then we'll kind of mix them all together in the later session. Because I think it's a nice way to move through them. But also, as I said, I'm going to invite you to see how fast you can move through them. And so sometimes we can get into this energy and again get stuck in it. And it's like, oh, okay, I want to go from my maiden, who's really sweet and virginal and pure, into, you know, the lover, and now I'm really in admiration of the beauty of life. And so there's an easy transition there. It's still a really light heart energy. Can you all feel what I'm talking about? That there's a similarity there, that they bridge to each other beautifully. But then what happens if I wanted to go into the whore? Where does my energy go? Where does your energy go in your body? Yeah. And so how fast can we switch? This is the invitation that we're going to play with a little bit too. Like, how fast can I switch from this sweetness to like, fuck me. Or like, I'm so angry right now. And this happens organically for us, emotionally. We are all of this when we're not holding it back or shaming it or judging it. But the beauty of these practices is, again, try to find the places that we don't touch. And can we, in a sense, like going to the gym, can we build the muscle of these parts that are weak or not accessed, so that we can go here and here and here and here and here in the matter of 5 minutes if we want to. Not that we have to, but can we fully touch all of these flavors, like all these colors of the rainbow, effortlessly? That to me is like a full spectrum embodied woman. Like, I can access all of it anytime I want. And the beauty of that in a relationship, because I'm sure you all have relationships of different types, but particularly I'm talking with a partner, although it has many other applications with an intimate partner. The beauty of that is we can then go, what is the moment calling for? And so an example of that, it's something that I did a lot with my last partner, is really actively playing in this range of, oh, I can feel the moment's calling for something different. Like, there's a stillness here. So what's coming next? Does he want some of my whore or some of my slut? Or does he need my tenderness and my lover and my nurturing? Or is something else arising in me organically? And so sometimes for me it was choosing, the moment's asking me to bring this energy through, to open him, to be in service to our connection. Or other times it's just, I'm authentically or wherever I am. Is this making sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah? And so this is, I guess, some of the more real world applications of these practices is once we have access to different flavors and we can move through them seamlessly, then we're fully in the moment. We're not reacting. We're not, I'm so stuck in my mama or my businesswoman or my healer or my counselor or my cook or my cleaner or whatever yours are. I'm like, yeah, I can be the devotional slut right now because it's going to open the moment with my lover. And then I can go into the nurturing mama bear who's going to make some chai and, care for the children. And then I can go back over there and then access my dark goddess because they were not listening and they need some more. And then, and then I can now access my lover again and be compassionate. So can you see how you already do this, but maybe you don't have as much range? I would say this is for me true for all of us. We don't always have this range because we might have what Michaela calls home flavors. Mm-hmm. And I just love that terminology. It's like, what are my home flavors? And just take a moment and reflect on that. There's billions of different archetypes, so it's not for me to label them all, but you might have a couple that you know in yourself. It could be business, mum, friend, yoga chick, embodiment chick, sexy temptress. You think about just some of the energies that maybe in a week or 2 weeks you would access, and maybe you'll come up with 5 or 10. I'd be surprised if there's more than 10 because they're probably your home flavors. So just take a moment, reflect on that, and I'm just curious if you can just shout out how many you're really aware of that you can easily access in your regular life, whatever that looks like.